It was quite a weekend for Indian cricket. India winning the Birmingham Test in Edgbaston to go 1-all with England in that big series. But the man of the moment is Shubman Gill, the Indian captain who broke almost all kinds of records while totaling a mammoth 430 runs across 2 innings, a double century and 150 being achieved for the first time in the history of Test cricket. At the age of 25, Shubman Gill is already the new star of Indian cricket. Now, a star is born, but a star is born because over several years, he's mentored and guided by different people, some of whom discover his talents at an early age. Well, I'm joined today by a very special guest. Karsan Ghavri was an all-round player who played for India in the 1970s and early 80s. And he discovered, if I may say so, Shubman Gill's talent when he was just 11 or 12 years old. Karsan Ghavri ji, appreciate your joining us. I'm told that you were doing a fast bowlers camp in Mohali many years ago. Shubman was just 11 years old and you suddenly discovered him when you saw him batting with a tennis ball. What was it about Shubman that as an 11-year-old and 12-year-old excited you so much that you asked the Punjab cricket authorities to immediately induct them into the under-15 team?
Well, Rajdeep, thanks very much, for having me this evening, and I'm very glad, to talk to you and talk about Shubman Gill. Well, the reality goes like that. In around 2000 and 2001, we had a camp, organized by the BCCI and NCA for a fast bowlers only. And we had a limited fast bowlers around, 17, 18 from all over India. And we having our, trainings, practice and bowling and everything. The drills were on, but we had no batsmen to bat against our fast bowlers. So that's the time I requested, Mr. Shishul Kapoor and Mr. Pandav, who was the president, at that time, to send, some under 16, under 19 good batsmen to face our bowlers. And we had a camp of fast bowlers for, 1 month camp for under 16, another camp, for under 19, another camp, for under 23. That's the time when we were having the first camp of under 16, and one day we were just practicing, outdoor at Mohali, and it started raining. So naturally, we never wanted to take any risk of our young fast bowlers while bowling, gets slipped, while delivering or going through the follow through and all that. So we stopped practice, and we gave the rest, to all our boys, because indoors, at that time was not available because some work was going on at Punjab Cricket Association. So we called it off, and myself and Yogendra Puri, who was my assistant coach, and it was not a heavy rain as such. It was just drizzling, and we never took a chance, for our young fast bowler to get injured or something like that. So we called it off, and we went, just across the road. There is another small ground outside, Mohali Stadium. That's where, a lot of boys were playing, cricket in the rain. And one boy I don't know whether it was a match or they were practicing, but one guy, young guy, was playing so correctly, technically, and the way he was striking the ball, I thought, this guy has got a lot of, a fire, a lot of spark. And, एक बार कहीं कोई बहुत अच्छा लगता है तो immediately आपके दिमाग में रह जाते हैं, आपका दिल में रहता है. So, I just asked my the assistant coach, Yogi इसको यार हम लोग हमारे वहाँ पर अंडर 16 में बुलाते हैं प्रैक्टिस के लिए. वो बोलते हैं कि सर बट उसके लिए वी हैव टू टेक परमिशन फ्रॉम पीसीए एंड ऑल दैट. आई सेड दैट कैन बी डन. So we were just walking back at the boundary line. There was only one gentleman who was just waiting, and in the rain. I asked him. I said, "Sir, do you know the boy who's batting right now? Who's that?" He said, "He is my son." I said, "What's his name?" He said, "Shubman Gill," and his father, Sukhwinder Singh, he said, "He is my son." I said, "Please, from tomorrow onwards, ask him to come and join our nets and play our fast bowlers in the nets, or either in the nets or in the indoors." And by a couple of days' time, indoor were all set, all ready. So very religiously, he started practicing with our boys.
You're telling me at the age of 11 and 12, Shubman Gill already had something special. What was that special?
12,
Was it his
yeah.
technique? What was it that stood out for you? You're
Very-
saying,
very
what was that special quality?
Well, his technique and his correct way of playing shots, and that's really struck with me. So
But all these years
we
later, did you-
invited him, and religiously.
Right. But
Yeah.
all these years later, Karsan bhai, did you think he would become as good as he has become? You've seen the great Sunil Gavaskar, you've seen Virat Kohli, you've
Well-
seen Sachin Tendulkar. Is Shubman Gill going to be the next great Indian batsman?
Oh yes, I mean he has got all the potential, he has got all the talent, and halfway through he has already proved it. And I don't think if he plays another 10, 12, 15 years, he will break many records, and I'm very sure about it. See, records are to be broken, and somebody so dedicated like Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma or now Shubman Gill, these are the guys who can do it, and even if when he does it at the end of his career, I will not be surprised.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Karsan Ghavri, you've seen all these greats yourself at close quarters. You're saying you won't be surprised if Shubman Gill breaks even more records than than many of the greats you've watched. But for a cricketer who spotted him at 11 and 12,
Yeah.
thank you very much for that contribution to Indian cricket. You've contributed, of course, on the field.
Well,
but you've also, yes,
Rajiv,
yes.
Rajiv, one more thing I really want to thank,
Yes.
not the Gill family, but the people who gave him the opportunities. I personally must thank Mr. Pandav and Mr. Sushil Kapoor.
Of
When he
Punjab
was
Cricket
12 years
Association.
old, and he was Punjab Cricket Association, he was never in the picture. I insisted, to these two gentlemen. I said, please put him in under 14 team, and he might do wonders. But and they did. They listened to me. They did that, and he was included in 14 teams with the Punjab Cricket Association under 14 team, and
Well-
since then he started playing, for them, and after 14,
rest-
he
the rest,
scored a
as
lot
I
of
would
runs,
say-
and since then
the
till
rest, I would
today,
say,
he has never looked back.
That's right. The rest, as I would say, is history. Karsan Ghavri, for joining us and telling us that wonderful story. I appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much.